Hey everyone, and welcome to Boston Autoblog. The day has finally arrived. The all-new 2022 Subaru WRX has landed here at Subaru of Wakefield, and I'm really excited to get my first look at this new generation. Now, as you can tell, this WRX has just been dropped off from the truck because there's still some plastic wrapping still on it. Subaru of Wakefield contacted me a few hours ago and said, hey, we just got a new WRX in, why don't you come down and check it out? And I said absolutely, because I knew for a fact that someone would come down here to possibly buy it and it wouldn't be available for tomorrow. And I do think someone will be here within an hour to really give this car a good long look. So I definitely want to get through this review rather quickly. So we're going to take a deep dive into this car, see how it compares to last generation, check out the exterior, the interior, the overall practicality, and the second row seating area to see if it's the perfect daily driver for car enthusiasts. Now, before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout and thank you to Subaru of Wakefield in Wakefield, Massachusetts for allowing me to do this review. The link will be in the description below so you can check out their extensive Subaru inventory. If you are in the market for a new or used Subaru, now is definitely the time because this is the most amount of cars I have seen on the lot in quite a while. So whether you are looking at buying a newer used Forester or a brand new Ascent, definitely come down and check out what they have. Also, before we get started, make sure to hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you're notified every time a new video goes live on the channel. And so, without wasting any further time, let's get right in this review. Now on its 30th year of production, the Subaru WRX has returned for another generation, this time in an era where most of the longtime rivals are either no longer made or not sold worldwide. For enthusiasts, fun cars that are affordable and come with a manual transmission are hard to find, especially on the new market. But Subaru has continued to reward its most loyal customers by offering a sedan that's quite unique in today's automotive world, where drivers receive a good amount of performance, all-wheel drive, and the ability to daily this car throughout the year. Even with Subaru primarily focusing on their crossover lineup, their commitment to the WRX nameplate has been received well in the car community, as many brands have moved on from this segment. Starting off with pricing, the 2022 WRX Premium comes in with a base price of just under $32,000, which in today's automotive market is quite appealing for enthusiasts. Aside from the cosmetic alterations for this new generation, other changes were made, such as stretching the WRX's dimensions to where it's now 3 inches longer and an inch wider. It's likely that from the outside, you won't notice a difference. However, passengers will experience the advantages of a bigger sedan, as interior space is more accommodating for taller occupants, which we'll get into later on. To go along with its off-road aesthetics, the 2022 model has been lifted by a ½ inch over the prior generation, which could make you question whether Subaru is encouraging owners to get the WRX dirty and muddy, as off-roading has become very trendy in the 2020s. If that's the case, the completely new design makes sense, as the plastic cladding found throughout, whether it's up front, along the side profile, or even the rear fascia, reinforces the notion that the WRX is capable of tackling different types of weather elements. At first glance, the 2022 model's front fascia is rather evolutionary for the WRX, as the LED headlight design and hood scoop are traditional cosmetic features for this sedan, and were present on last generation's model. As we make our way to the lower portion of the front bumper, the cladding isn't too much of a surprise based on the WRX's predecessors, but it is far more prominent, and that sets the tone for the rest of the exterior, as Subaru is making it very clear that this isn't just an aggressive Impreza. Moving over to the side profile, the Premium will be equipped with 18-inch alloy wheels, but it's the cladding around the wheel arches that draws the most amount of attention. And to be quite honest, it's not as aggressive in person compared to viewing the WRX in videos and photos. You'll have body color folding side mirrors, but to receive blind spot detection and rear cross traffic alert, you will have to upgrade to the Limited. Then coming around to the back, there's a lot more to digest and unpack, as it's the rear fascia that's all new and distinctive, where you have completely redesigned LED taillights that are similar to the 2022 BRZ. But you also have the plastic molding that surrounds the quad exhaust outlets, and the striking body lines that hover over the rear wheels and flows into the final third of the WRX. Not as noticeable is a very subtle deck-lid spoiler, and despite all the changes this sedan went through, it still retained the sporty DNA that has drawn in buyers for years. However, it should be worth noting that compared to prior WRXs and pretty much every rival in this price range and segment, it's Subaru that's taken the initiative to introduce a new type of driver and consumer to this market, where it has the sports car credentials, but that athleticism can be applied when traversing dirt roads to give buyers a small taste and glimpse into experiencing rallycross. Under the hood, the 2022 WRX is powered by a 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, producing 271 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque, and is paired with the 6-speed manual transmission, but you can opt for a CVT. Compared to last generation, power gains are extremely minimal, with only a 3 horsepower boost. However, this powertrain is all new for the WRX and can be found in the Ascent. Compared to rivals in this price range, such as the Volkswagen GTI and Hyundai Veloster N, performance numbers are on par. However, where Subaru has the advantage is with all-wheel drive coming standard, allowing drivers to enjoy the WRX year-round and on different types of road surfaces, such as snow or dirt. For fuel economy, you're looking at right around 19 miles per gallon in the city and 26 miles per gallon on the highway. Stepping inside, you're greeted by heated, manually adjustable cloth seats for both the driver and passenger if you opt for the Premium. But by upgrading to the Limited, you'll receive ultra suede trim to increase the comfort you'll experience during weekly commutes. In front of you, between the analog gauges, there will be a digital display where you can scroll through a variety of information. And if you've owned a WRX in the past, you'll be very familiar with the menu layout and using the buttons mounted on the lower left side of the steering wheel. New for 2022 and standard for the Premium and Limited is an 11.6-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility. You can receive the Harman Kardon Premium audio system and a power moonroof on the Premium trim with an available package. This head unit can be found in the Outback and Legacy, fully modernizing the interior of the WRX. And while there aren't many physical buttons with this user interface, you will have dials for the volume and tuning, and you can adjust the dual-zone climate control temperature without having to use the touchscreen. However, all your AC and fan speed functions will be found at the bottom of this infotainment system. Resolution, quality, and responsiveness are certainly a standout in this segment, especially if you prefer a good amount of technology to interact with. Everything is within arm's reach, and best of all, the menus are cleanly laid out, so you can access vehicle settings and customize what you see during your drives. You have a rear backup camera with trajectory, and as mentioned before, you will have to buy a Limited to get rear cross traffic alert. Below, you'll have a cubby for your smartphone with 2 USB inputs, and rounding out the front seating area, for the center storage compartment, you'll have enough room for smaller items. Now for passengers in the back, we're going to start off on the passenger side. And believe it or not, this seat is adjusted all the way back and somewhat on a recline, And I have a good amount of legroom to work with here, which is really great to see for a car of this size. Now, of course, I'm not the tallest person out there. I'm around 5'5", but I do think, though, that if you're on the height of 5'8" or 5'9", you should be comfortable. And better yet, even though the WRX does have a traditional sedan roofline, you're not really experiencing a lack of headroom at all. It's not very claustrophobic in here for what it is. Now, of course, if you're on the height of 6 feet and above, maybe you're gonna hit your head on the headliner, but if you plan on having some of your friends tag along with you on some of the cruises or maybe even rallies if you are part of the car community, you can definitely have average size adults back here, and they shouldn't be complaining when it comes to the lack of legroom or even headroom. Then moving over to the center seat, you are going to have some good placements for your feet. However, the center hump is very aggressive, and that will take away from legroom. Now, of course, the WRX is not very wide, so you're not going to have a lot of shoulder room to begin with. So I do think that if you do plan on having people in the second row, you're only going to want to have 2 people at all times, just because it's not going to be very accommodating if you try squeezing in that third person. And then finally, on the driver's side, I adjusted the seat to someone of my height, around 5'5", and I have plenty of legroom to work with here. So all in all, I think what Subaru has done here for this generation, for the WRX, is maximize the interior dimensions so that you can fit average size adults in the back. You can fit your kids back here if you do have a family. And really, most importantly, everyone is going to enjoy the ride if they are passengers and, of course, if you are the driver. So I'm really liking what I'm experiencing here today with the WRX. Also back here, you will have 2 USB inputs. Now, we do not have heated rear seats on this model. And rounding out the rear seating area, you do get a center armrest with 2 cup holders. Now, coming around to the back, you're going to receive right around 12.5 cubic feet of room behind the second row seats, which doesn't sound like a whole heck of a lot in today's automotive world with crossovers. However, I do think this generation WRX is a great daily driver still. I was able to fit all my camera gear and then some. If you do go grocery shopping throughout the week, it will definitely be able to handle that. But also, more importantly, this cargo area is deceptively wide and deceptively deep. So I do think that you'll be able to fit probably 2 to 3, possibly a 4th bag of luggage if you are going on a road trip with a significant other, or if you're going on a weekend rally with some friends. And this is really great to see, especially for a car of this size. Then also keep in mind that when you do lower those second row seats, you can now fit longer items. So when it comes to the daily driving aspect and using this car as your daily commuter, I think the WRX is providing more than enough. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick walk around of the all-new 2022 Subaru WRX. It has been quite a while since I've done a video like this where we just did a first look and done an extensive walk around rather than do a test drive and really do everything all in one day. But that's because this WRX has just arrived, and I wanted to make sure that I at least got to see it in person before it got sold, because I have a feeling, just like every other car I have featured this year and late last year, this will likely be gone within about 6 to 12 hours. So I wanted to make sure that I at least took advantage of this opportunity. And once again, huge thank you to Subaru of Wakefield for letting me come down here to check this car out. But what I can get into today is my personal thoughts on the exterior and the interior. Starting off with the outside, the front fascia is definitely traditional and a bit evolutionary for the WRX history, just because it does look very similar to last generation, although the plastic cladding will take some time to get used to. Now, I do understand why Subaru did that, just because with the direction that sedans are going in, you got to have that aggressive off-road look, just because that's what people are really into right now. And it's possible that Subaru wants buyers to go on the dirt roads and have some fun and really experience this car the way it was designed. But most likely, though, I still think enthusiasts are going to purchase a WRX and still do a lot more on-road driving experiences and on-road adventures. And then when it comes to the rear end, those taillights are very similar to the BRZ and GR86, so I definitely recognize that immediately. And then when it comes to the interior, the only real difference here would be the infotainment system, and it's pretty much the same user interface that we see from the Legacy and the Outback. So if you're familiar with those two cars, you'll definitely find it easy to get acclimated with this user interface. But overall, though, I think what the Subaru WRX is giving you is still a lot of fun for a good price, especially right around $33,000, $35,000. And of course, how can you complain when you have a manual transmission? So all in all, at least when it comes to what I've seen today, doing a walk around and experiencing the interior, I do like what I'm seeing right now. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more. Also make sure to follow me on Instagram at Boston Autoblog so you can see what I'm up to and what vehicles I'll be featuring in the future. And I will see you guys next time.